Shri Gurubhyo Namaha children. I welcome you all to our online teaching academy Ekalaiva. This is class 12 biology. Okay, in our last video, okay, we have completed tools used in our recombinant DNA technology. Okay, so the next part of our lesson is processes in biotechnology. Okay, so the processes what we are going to follow in this creation of rDNA we are going to see. So, the processes in rDNA technology, it involves these important 5 steps. Okay, the first one when you see, this is isolation of genetic material. Okay, isolation of genetic material. This is the first step. What is a genetic material? Most of our organisms, they are having DNA as their genetic material. Okay, so here we are going to see how we are going to isolate our DNA, that is DNA extraction. Okay, so that is the first step. Okay, so once you extracted your DNA, the next step is restriction of that DNA into fragments with the help of our restriction enzymes. Okay, so cutting of DNA at specific location with the help of our restriction enzymes. This is our second step. Okay, then the third step in this rDNA technology is amplification of DNA. What is that amplification of DNA? Sometimes, okay, from the sample what we are getting, very little amount of DNA we will get. Okay, so to amplify, to multiply, to produce the copies of that available DNA, okay, we will go for this step, and here you are going to learn about another important thing under this recombinant DNA technology, that is biotechnology, which is nothing but PCR. In our next video, we will see about that PCR. Okay, so the next fourth step is, so once your DNA is ready, okay, once it is available in enough copies, you can go for the next step, that is cloning into the cloning vector to prepare our rDNA. Okay, so insertion of recombinant DNA into the host cell. The DNA is inserted into the cloning vector, and that cloning vector plus DNA we will call it as rDNA, and this rDNA is introduced into our host cell. Okay, so and in our last video we have seen how to select our transformants. Once it is transformed into our host cell, the transformants can be selected using any one of that method. Okay, so after the selection of transformants, the final step, it is to obtain the foreign gene product. Whatever the desirable product which is going to be produced from our gene of interest can be collected by using some upstreaming and downstreaming processes. So these are the 5 important steps involved in our recombinant DNA technology process. Okay, so here first we are going to start with our DNA extraction. Okay, you are going to learn how you are going to extract your DNA. Okay, so this DNA extraction, it will be carried out, okay, to extract the DNA from the available sample. Okay, so what is DNA extraction first? So DNA extraction is the isolation and purification of DNA. Okay, so DNA, you know which is the location of our DNA. DNA is present within our cells, okay, and cells having nucleus, and in that nucleus, okay, these DNAs are packed in the form of chromosomes. Okay, you know, in our second unit, we have learnt about all those packaging of DNA along with our histone proteins. Okay, so we are going to isolate that DNA. Okay, and we need the DNA in a purified form. Okay, for that we need to have some process which we are calling it as a DNA extraction. Okay, so DNA can be extracted. What are the samples you can use for this DNA extraction? And you see, mostly it is of cells or tissues. Okay, cells or tissues, and even it can be extracted from n number of environmental samples. Okay, for example, in forensic science, okay, they will be using, okay, in a place, okay, where there was a murder, In that place they will be collecting various samples, okay. There will be a blood sample, air sample, nail can be there, skin croppings can be there. So from all these things we can isolate our DNA, okay. So this is about the DNA extraction and the samples what we are going to use in our DNA extraction. Now the next question, why DNA isolation? Why it is necessary in this process of our DNA technology? When you see the extraction of DNA from cell and its purification, it is a very important step in our DNA. Then only we can have only our desired gene, so that is desired DNA, so that we will get our desired product, okay. So that is the purpose of isolating our DNA. And what is the use of this isolated DNA? When you see, extraction and purification of DNA are the first step in the analysis, and where and all they are going to use, scientists are going to use it when you see to detect genetic disorder, okay. So when you want to detect a problem in that particular gene, that DNA segment should be purified, okay. So that is an important thing. Then to produce DNA fingerprinting of an individual, okay, then to create GMOs, okay, that is genetically engineered organism, modified organisms, and to produce a beneficial products such as insulin, antibiotics and hormones, okay. So for all these purpose we need to extract our DNA in purified form, okay. Now we will see what are the steps involved in our DNA extraction, okay. Actually this extraction process can be categorized into 3 steps, okay. The first step is the cell lysis, and the second one is the protein removal, and the third step is DNA precipitation, okay. Cell lysis, protein removal, then DNA precipitation, okay. So cell lysis, when you see, you can do it by any one of this method, okay. Can be chemically lysed, cells can be chemically lysed using some chemicals like this, okay, SDS, sodium dodecyl sulfates, then sarcosyl and CTAB, okay. So all these solutions, chemicals can be used to lyse our cell, okay. Then enzymatic, with the help of some enzymes, okay, and mechanically it can be lysed by grinding usually, okay. You have this DNA extraction in your practicals, okay, major practical it is. So in that what you will do, using a mortar and pestle we used to blend our sample to extract our DNA. So grinding, by grinding we can lyse our cells, okay, to get our DNA out of nucleus, okay. And another way, freezing and sonication also can be done to lyse our cell. So the first step is to lyse the cell, because nucleus is, okay, very well packed inside our, the DNA is very well packed inside our nucleus. So it has to be come out of that nucleus. Then you know the cell, if it is of a plant cell, the cell is having cell wall. Animal cell, okay, it is having a cell membrane, a bilipid layer membrane. When you take fungi is having cell wall, okay, which is made up of chitin. So to break all this we are doing this first step, okay. Then the protein removal. So once the DNA comes out of the cell, you know this cell, okay, it contains protein, other macromolecules like protein, RNA, all those things has to be removed, because we need to purify our DNA, okay. So the last one is, once all these things are removed, the DNA is precipitated, okay. We will see how we are going to precipitate our DNA. So these are the 3 major steps involved in our DNA extraction. So as I told you, the first step is cells are lysed. How it is lysed, okay? Actually you can use enzymes for lysing our cells, okay. So enzymatic treatment will be there, but okay, in all the labs these enzymes are not available. So how to overcome that, I will tell you. So first we will see what are the enzymes used to lyse that cell. So if it is of a bacterial cell, it can be lysed by using a lysozyme enzyme, okay. If it is of a plant cell wall is made up of cellulose. So it can be treated with cellulase, which will go and break down that cellulose, okay, so that the cell wall can be broken, okay. And the next one, if it is of a fungi, okay, the fungi can be treated with chitinase enzyme to break that chitin which is making their cell wall, so that cell can be lysed easily, okay. So these are the enzyme used for lysis process here. If it is of a various samples, if it is of bacterial cell, lysozyme, plant cell, cellulase, and fungi, it is chitinase, okay. So this is how, using our enzymes, we will lyse our cell, okay. Normally in your laboratory practicals, okay, for your level of 12th standard, what you people will do, no, you will take a sample, and that sample, as I told you, in a mortar and pestle we used to blend our sample by adding a little amount of warm water and detergent, okay. You will add little amount of detergent and sodium chloride, and you will blend that sample properly. What is the use of this detergent and sodium chloride? When you see this detergent, okay, what does detergent and NaCl do? When you see, the detergent dissolves the membranes and disrupts the proteins, okay. So detergent, you know, okay, cell wall and detergent will be having enzymes also, okay. You can see some colored particles will be there in our detergent, okay. So that is actually enzymes, and with the help of these enzymes, cell will be lysed, and these detergents are dissolving the cell membrane. Cell membrane is made up of a bilipid layer, okay. It is not so easy to dissolve it. For that purpose only we are using this detergent, and also it disrupt the proteins. What is the main use of sodium chloride, okay, used there in that procedure blending? When you see, these sodium ions break apart the proteins that is stuck to the DNA. You know, packaging of DNA, okay, DNA, it is packed along with the histone protein. So for the removal of that proteins, okay, we need this sodium ions, okay. For this purpose only we are adding detergent and sodium chloride in DNA extraction process, okay. So, and this sodium chloride, as I told you, it is not sodium chloride. In some places even they will use sodium acetate also, okay. Any sodium compounds can be used, okay. And what the sodium compounds are doing, when you see, it stabilizes the DNA after it has been stripped of its protein, okay. So once, because you know how it is coiled around the histone proteins, so once that protein comes out, see, this is how, okay, in the nucleosome structure you have seen, this is how the DNA, the red color strand, okay, the strand is DNA, and these are histone proteins. So once these proteins are removed, there should not be any disturbance in this DNA. So that's stabilizing, okay. It is a work of our sodium ions, okay. For this purpose only you are using sodium chloride, okay. So now we lysed our cell, we stabilized our DNA, and in addition to that, after lysing, you will be using some other enzymes. The first one is ribonuclease enzyme, okay. Ribonuclease enzyme is nothing but RNase enzyme to lyse our RNA. Suppose if the cell is having any RNA, by adding this RNase enzyme, the RNA will be lysed, okay. Then we can add protease. So protease enzyme, it is added to digest our proteins. Is that clear, children? So this is RNase, ribonuclease enzyme, it is added to remove our RNA, and protease enzyme, it is added to remove proteins present in that cell. So now all RNA, all the macromolecules are removed, only our DNA is there in that sample, okay. So you have to take that sample, then along with that you will be adding a chilled ethanol, okay. You have to collect only that extract, along with that extract you will be adding chilled ethanol, alcohol, okay. You know alcohol, it is less than the denser liquid than our water, okay. So extract we are making, I told you, you have to add warm water. So when you add this alcohol, alcohol floats on the surface like this, okay. Alcohol floats on this water when you leave it undisturbed for some time. When you leave it undisturbed for some times, the DNA present in that sample got precipitated like this. Okay, here very clearly you can see, okay, the precipitation of our DNA. Okay, the strands, okay, the DNA will be coming out, okay, out of that water into the alcohol solution like a fine thread. Okay, so for this purpose only we are adding ethanol. Okay, and what is the use of the chilled ethanol? Why it is ethanol there? When you see, okay, less density of ethanol, one reason. The other one is DNA is not soluble in cold alcohol. When you add water, no, there is chance for our DNA to go into that water. Okay, so this usage of alcohol, this DNA will not soluble in that alcohol. That is one purpose, and all small molecules stay in solution except DNA. Okay, all small molecules will stay in the solution except our DNA. Then long strands of DNA spool onto the stick. Okay, I'll show you spooling of DNA. Okay, then adding of alcohol solution, actually what is the purpose? When you see, one thing I told you, DNA will not soluble in that alcohol, and why should be a chilled ethanol? When you see that lower temperature, see here, the colder temperature slow down the enzymes that can break down DNA. Suppose if there is any DNA's enzyme, this chilled ethanol, okay, at once after collecting the extract you will add chilled ethanol. Okay, this chilled ethanol, the lower temperature will deactivate those enzymes if it is present, that is the enzymes which are degrading our DNA's enzyme. If at all, if it is there in the sample, this lower temperature will inactivate that enzyme, because you know enzymes need optimum temperature for their activation. Okay, so that is the main purpose why we are using this chilled ethanol. So when you add ethanol, as I showed you already, okay, this is how we will get, you can see that formation of DNA threads. Okay, so how to collect it? When you see, using a stick, okay, or a thin glass rod, okay, you can spool the DNA strands like this. Okay, so this is called spooling of DNA. So this is how, okay, from that sample we are collecting, we are extracting, isolating our DNA. So what happened to that extracted DNA? When you see, once you extract the DNA, the precipitated DNA is washed with same alcohol, 70% ethanol. It is dried under vacuum and resuspended in a buffer. Okay, so for further use, from that buffer we can use our DNA. Okay, so here in rDNA technology, suppose if you want to produce some hormone or some proteins like insulin, okay, so you can use, that time you can use this DNA. So this is how we are extracting our DNA from the available samples. To receive our online lesson, please press the subscribe button and you will receive our latest updates. Thank you, children.